How's it going, everybody? I'm Giovanni Vidal. You can follow me on Twitter at JV88_football or on this YouTube channel. We're going to go through some of the best bets I like for the English Premier League for Game Week 2. And right before we do, if you could like, subscribe, and help me keep doing these videos. Quickly, we're going to go through Game Week 1 is a review from the previous two videos, and didn't go so well. I went over the Community Shield game, and that one hit. That was a 1 unit, but in the game week 2, Everton Fulham over 2.5 goals was a half a unit. Did not go through. Everton had some chances, a lot of chances. Neto just made a ridiculous amount of saves at point blank, but didn't go our way. So that's a loss of a half a unit. Bournemouth West Ham over 10.5 corners. That hit comfortably. So that was 1 unit at minus 105, one, and the exact at a quarter unit of 12 exact goals didn't hit. It went well over. I believe it finished with 15 total corners. And then we had Liverpool and Tottenham both for 1 unit on the money line. Both of them tied their games. Overall, going back, I would still have taken Liverpool. Tottenham maybe not so much once they lost to Kane, but overall it was about overall loss on the year so far of 0.69 units. Okay, so moving forward, plenty of time to catch up. Moving on to game week 2, the first bet that I like is in Friday's match, and that is Forest against Sheffield United. And for that match, that's going to be on August 18th. And Forest coming in at minus 115 on the money line. The comeback on Sheffield is 320, and a draw is 250. For this match, the play we're going to go with is Nottingham Forest on the money line at minus 115 for 1 unit. The reason being, Forest scored double the amount of at home. They scored double the amount of road goals from the previous season, and towards the end, at home at least, they started to find their groove. They went 3 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. The notable draw was against Man City, where they tied them 1-1. And their 2 losses, they were able to score some goals in it, but they fell short to Newcastle and Man U. That's nothing to really take into account for as far as losses go. Newcastle and Man U are very potent offenses and very good teams. So the thing with Sheffield is they've put on a great performance. Lost 1-0 in their opening match, but now they're going on the road. This is Nottingham's opening match. They already have a year in the Premier League to build off of. Talent-wise, they are the better team, and Sheffield, even in the championship a season ago, their offense really struggled on the road. They scored almost 2.5 times their goals came at home, and while their defense was good, like on the road, that's also against the championship teams. They're coming in against a Premier League team now, and one that has found its form at home. Even in their opening match on the road, Nottingham did put up a good fight. I believe they did come away with a 1-1 draw. So, given all that, I like Nottingham Forest to get the win at home, minus 115 for 1 unit. Moving on to the next match, which is the 19th of August. It is Tottenham versus Manchester United. I can't stay away from the Tottenham games. So for this one, we're going to go with the over 2.5 goals at minus 150 for 2 units. Now, Tottenham's defense is not improving. They haven't answered any questions, and even as a matter of fact, they're now more susceptible to getting scored on with this high-pressed offense that they're deploying by their coach. and it leads to a lot of counter punches. Actually, Brentford should have came away with the win and not the draws. They just messed up a bunch of chances. They also didn't have Ivan Toney. Manchester United will not have that problem. They have a onslaught of talent up front, guys that can find the back of the net. And Manchester United does, while their offense is still great home or away, their defense is very leaky on the road. They allowed 1.63 expected goals per match on the road a season ago, which was in the towards the bottom half of the table, near the worst for defenses on the road. But their offense on the road was very good at 1.4 expected goals. Tottenham allowed their expected goals was actually really good at home. They didn't give up too many chances, but they did allow 1.94 actual, no, 1.38, sorry, actual goals at home, which is terrible. It was like top 5 worst in the EPL season ago. And their offense continued to chug. They found they performed very well at home with 1.94 actual goals scored at home. 2 of the previous 3 matches between the two sides saw 3+ goals, and given that this game is in Tottenham and Manchester United is still a potent offense on the road, I expect Tottenham to find the back of the net at least once and Manchester United to come away with the win. Wouldn't be surprised if a 2-2 game here or even 2-3. I think this is going well over, but we're going to go with the over 2.5 minus 150 for 2 units. Moving on, we're going to go to the Wolverhampton versus Brighton match, which is also on August 19th. And right now, Wolverhampton sits at plus 350. Brighton sits at minus 125 with a draw at 260. For this match, we're gonna go with the over 2.5 at minus 120 for a half a unit. Reason being, the Wolves allowed 1.39 expected goals at home and an average 1.10 actual goals scored. Now, the 1.39 is pretty bad for a home side, and Brighton has a top 5 expected goals allowed on the road. So, and is a top 5. Sorry, Brighton allowed was top 5 in expected goals, which is very good on the road. But the little chances that they gave up found the back of the net, as they actually allowed 1.6 actual goals per match. But the offense kept pulling them through. Brighton's offense, that's very high paced, actually tied Arsenal atop the EPL with actual goals scored a season ago. And Wolverhampton's have a more high paced offense right now. They actually should have found the back of the net in the earlier game today against Manchester United, but they had chances at point blank range, got robbed a couple of times, and just blatantly shanked the shots. I think they can get one against Brighton, but overall, Brighton on their own can put up 3+ goals. They've done it numerous times throughout the previous season. So give me Wolverhampton versus Brighton over 2.5 at 0.5. The final match we're going to go to is Manchester City versus Newcastle. Manchester City sits at minus 170 on the money line, with Newcastle at plus 425 in the comeback and a draw sitting at 300. The issue with Manchester, well, there is no issues with Manchester City except the depth. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is going to be able to keep going. He came off. He couldn't go more than like 25 minutes in the previous match. They are missing some key members of their offense. They were able to get the win in their previous match, but it's against Burnley, and they just overpowered them. And I think Newcastle will be a lot more competitive, given the lack of veteran leadership that Manchester City has coming into this match. Newcastle is high paced. I expect Manchester City to score. They always score. 1 or 2 goals, but I think Newcastle can match it. So for this match, I'm going to go with Newcastle plus 1.5 goals at minus 150 for 1.5 units. Again, Manchester City can still leak out a win or put up a 1-0 or 2-1 match and come away. They are that good. They have that much depth, but I expect Newcastle to keep it very close with the missing pieces in the leadership role that Manchester City has right now. Again, their first match they won easily 3-0, but Burnley doesn't have the offensive weapons that Newcastle has. And then we're going to go with a half a unit play on Newcastle on the win draw at plus 130. Again, I'm high on Newcastle, and I think Manchester City is just missing a couple more leadership. If they had Kevin De Bruyne back in, I would favor them, and I'd stay away from the win draw. But I don't think he's going to play. I think Newcastle can match him goal for goals. So give me Newcastle plus 1.5, minus 150, and Newcastle on the win draw for a half unit at plus 130. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. As always, you can find me at JV88_football on Twitter. You can follow me there because I did post a couple of plays closer to and throughout the weekend on EPL and some other matches like the Turkish League, the Belgium League. I'll try to get a video out for them for you guys on those leagues. Those did go really well for me this weekend, but I'll try to get the videos early. If not, follow me on Twitter because I do post the plays beforehand. If you guys can like, subscribe, that'll help me out, help me keep doing these videos. Thanks again for watching, and let's get back on track this weekend. Thank you, guys.